Hi there. It's me. I'm just sort of at home now, and I went to another AA, which is great. Haven't been involved in doing some more of my painting tonight. However, my mood was fairly good, and I am, yes, I am now considering what will happen tomorrow. Obviously, I've seen a sponsor. Can't say anything about that because some things with my life are private. However, coffee with him, having read the doctor's opinion, will be a great deal of good for me. At the moment, I'm feeling that some of life feels worth, has some worth. Some of it feels that a little bit shallow, and yeah, I look good enough in a sense. Vanity isn't necessary, but I seem good enough in some respects with health and so on. I'm thinking perhaps comfort food is a good idea tonight, as I like always eating sometimes more if I can. However, there's a great deal of people having fun out there tonight, and with the lack of money and funds, I'm just pleased to finish my film, The Shintoku Incident, with Jackie Chan, which is very interesting. It's about a man and with several other people who come to America. Hang on a minute, is it America? No, it's Japan. They go to Japan, sorry. And they had he, in the end, has forgotten his passport. He was trying to run with all the other people to get to on the boat. And when he got on the boat, he had left his passport and all his papers just at that moment. He had to quickly get there on the boat. On the boat, you know, you get on the boat. Yes, I think I'm a bit chirpier as a result of being, you know, uh, that I'm benefiting greatly. But sometimes I'm incredibly bored, and sometimes I just wonder how it is I could be involved in other groups, but obviously other groups involved in more merriment would be something that happens when I can get more funds. I have thought, I wonder what will happen next week with jobs, and I can only hope there'll be more admin assistant jobs coming through, as well as all the other engineering, sales roles, whatever else there is. As usual, I might find myself less inclined to watching films a lot for a little while, because I have watched now almost 320 films, a lot of which I, again, don't need to give myself a hard time. I haven't researched on, and sometimes the inclination to record such a thing becomes less of a interesting thing when life generally is meant to be about the ability to first of all record factual information through the guise of imagining different themes or different plots involved in these films. Also, kind of just praising the ability for people to get together and having conducted their act of working with directors, producers, working these people working together, they have done something marvelous. They have done something I have to really appreciate. I listen to myself now, again, analyzing something that is just practically happening, and it happens just as it does. So again, what I do a lot with these films is I simply talk about life happening, and I'm not part of life. And this is definitely to do with me not sort of thinking less about being person who always wants to observe and always wants to relate to life in a perfect way without making any errors. I think if I see that, I've always known why I find myself bored. It is because you can't have a godlike aspect to shun boredom. Boredom happens, it's a mutual effect caused through the ability to not take enough risks to then find life thrilling. Whenever I found myself realizing that apart from coming out of a womb, which is a very, very strange thing. The thing is, when a baby comes along, it's a very, very interestingly random thing to happen just through the act of sex. Two different things go together, a semen and an egg, and they are both totally different. So the whole act of life itself and how it combines itself in reaction to something thrilling is just through doing it. Just go ahead, go, let's go, and it's done, you know. So, and I ask myself, isn't it just strange and isn't it dull somehow that life has to be that random? Isn't there any explanation for a random effect of something happening? No, because if there isn't an answer, once we find the answer, we find ourselves slowly bored by it. And once we find we've produced things, and we're sure that we produce things well together in groups or singularly, we're bored of it eventually. The old films are old. The films of present, slowly in time, become tarnished. Not just films, books, and anything else. Why is this? Because the ability to be logical and the ability to make something out of randomness, out of things that come from the earth, it tarnishes with time. But again, I'm trying to see the bigger picture, and I'm still trying to say how wonderful life is, and I simply need to be involved with it. I think I found the answer. It was about 2 minutes ago. And if I'm willing to carry on in this kind of way of being and just acting, I shall find slowly the darkness lifts and a certain amount of darkness remains for the rest of my life, but not such a massive amount as there feels at the back of my brain. And that's it really. I talked about it in the AA. From my perspective, I can explain what I said because I'm not allowed to explain what other people said, which is there's a dark cloak that slowly grows lighter, just like Gandalf and his different cloaks. After we thought he was dead, he comes back and is Gandalf the White. And of course, I'm just going and putting drama there, but I changed from the Grim Reaper into something a little bit kinder, more pleasant, more aesthetically acceptable, and not just something that remains to be hermetical and on its own. That's I could not bear, so I'll change it.